So the sort of perspective I come to is looking at the public sector, through the eyes of running a business, I guess. And I have to say that the whole process has been immensely interesting and educational. And probably the biggest lesson I learned was actually on the first day when I sat down with the team I'd been allocated and I said, right, what I want to know is how much we spend across the public sector in the UK on back office and IT and what we're spending it on. And that, of course, was the start of why this project became so interesting. Because the honest truth is nobody really knows with any degree of accuracy just how much money does get spent on these functions. And that was a real eye-opener from someone who's come from a business background where cost reports pop out once a month automatically. And of course, this is a real problem because the lack of consistent management information makes it hard to identify what the costs of back office and IT actually are. It's difficult to establish trends, it's difficult to make comparisons, and it's difficult to manage down costs. What isn't measured very well isn't going to get managed very well. And the problem's bigger than that, because if the information isn't available and nobody's holding you to account over it, there's no or very limited independent scrutiny of the effectiveness and the way in which money is being spent. Now, I had a finance director who worked alongside me for many years, and one of his favourite sayings was, "What interests my boss interests me greatly." And if you're running a central civil service department, an agency, or something in local government, you've got an awful lot of worries on your plate. You've got to look after the inverted commas politics, making sure that your department and your minister don't end up badly in the press. And you're being pushed to roll out policy initiatives, which is obviously a particular problem in central government, but it goes across the public sector generally. If nobody's really asking you about the effectiveness of your back office operations or your procurement, because this was a very similar theme that came through the work strand in OEP that Martin Jay led on collaborative procurement, it's quite understandable that you'll worry about the other things that people are chasing you on and not on these things. And I think, if I had one message that sort of really went through my report and my feelings, it was around that fundamental problem.